A very, very good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is Monday, the 26th of January, 2026. It's another Indian football and more discussion on my channel, Arun Foot. And yes, we'll talk about things that are happening in and around Indian football, with a number of transfers also happening, and things are seem to be moving towards an ISL's kickoff. And we'll talk about that and other things. The first thing, of course, is always at the start of the video. If you like our conversations here, um, even if you're watching the video deferred, do leave a like behind. Share it with other people to potentially watch it, maybe join in our conversations also. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel, help us grow the community here on Arun Foot, and do follow my other social medias as well. And if you haven't, do watch the short videos which I try to make on a regular or nearly daily basis. Did something today about the changes in the squad of the Kerala Blasters. It's linked here at the top. The video, which contains the signings of former India international Raul Borges, Marlon Roos, Trujillo, former German youth international, and Kevin Joke, um, who is a former Paris Saint-Germain youth, while the Blasters on the other side have released the twins, Ayman and Azhar. So those some of the things that are there, and therefore your queries, your questions, your observations also there. And the changes are happening slowly in the league, with Chennai announcing the 30-year-old winger Imran Khan, who's been with Northeast United and then with Jamshedpur FC for a long time, has left, and yeah, and has now joined Chennai FC. So that's good news that Chennai FC are now finally in the market for players, that they have announced their first signing of the year. And while, of course, Jamshedpur FC have been quite active, they are back on the field. They are back on the field. They're back training. So therefore, there's a lot of teams who are, slowly starting to recognize, okay, I need to do stuff. I need to make changes to my roster. And therefore, the clubs are getting active, respectively, in the transfer market, and again also making other things. Yeah, um, I said yesterday, or we spoke yesterday about Owen Coyle coming back to Indian shores. Just 1 second. Owen Coyle is back in Indian shores. Owen Coyle has returned to Jamshedpur FC. He's now back with the Steelmen, with the Red Miners, and he's back with them for this season. And they are back in training. And there's been something of a statement on the uh, um, Jamshedpur FC social medias or website as well, on Owen Coyle, speaking about his return to Jamshedpur FC. So it sounds that he's happy with his return, that he's back with the team, and um, what Owen Coyle said, the players' attitude was fantastic in the first training session. Their fitness levels, I was very pleased with. They worked really hard, and it was a really enjoyable session. It was great to see a lot of the boys that I've known from before, obviously from my time in Jamshedpur, and players I've worked with over the course of being in India. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable session, and I look forward to many more. So Jamshedpur FC in the market have made signings left, right, and center, so to say, to try and strengthen their squad, bring them up to speed, and therefore that's one of the teams that has decided for themselves. You know what? We need to work on things. You need to bring in the right talent to be competitive in the league. So that's something which I think is very clear from the stance of Jamshedpur FC, that they are yeah, they are in the market for players, for talent. And yeah, it's really interesting to see again other teams as well. So therefore, it is slowly heating up. So we're slowly talking about the things that we normally talk about when we talk about players. And therefore, it's interesting to see what the other teams do. To me, I think it's very important that the teams, over the next 5 days will make changes to the respective squad. There's a lot of players who play to teams who want to release those players. Let's put it this way, or no longer want to work with those players, and therefore those players are being set aside, and therefore it'll be very interesting to see. Yeah, very interesting to see. Intakashi has been one of those teams who have tried to rebuild their squad accordingly. Have made quite a few number of signings as well. If I want to talk about Intakashi at the moment, let's let's look at their squad of new players. Amongst the foreigners, David Humanes returns, so he's been with them in the club. But Mario Barco, who was there in the Super Cup, is injured, so he's not going to return. So therefore, they have decided to sign goalkeeper Luis Juez Tares, Sergio Lamas, Pablo Rodriguez, as well as Pablo Rodriguez and Alfred Planes are forwards, while Sergio Lamas is a midfielder. So therefore, yeah, interesting signings, but also interesting the Indian signings for Interkashi so far. Nishchal Chandan, who's been around the scene, um, and yeah, interesting to see if he can step up. He's been more of a solid I-League player who hopefully will now make the step. Was with Jamshedpur FC last season. And of course, experience Nishu Kumar, who's of course been. And on the other side, we have Jay Rane. Um, so therefore, that's something which is there, and so therefore these are the players that have already been signed by Interkashi. So Interkashi look to have strengthened decently, I would say, for the moment, and we'll see what they can do down the road. Yeah, it'll be interesting what you know, and let's see if that's going to be the case. But to me, the big question at the moment is can the teams really do what is needed? So can India football women's team qualify in FIFA World Cup in 2027? Um, Dripunasa, in theory, if you ask me that question, yes, of course, India can, in theory, qualify uh, um, for the um, for the FIFA Women's World Cup next year. Why not would be my thing. But to me, um, you know, and um, to me, the point is, you know, um, it will be interesting to see. Yeah, I don't know if it'll work, but to me, when I think about the Women's World Cup, my first concern is not the Women's World Cup. Um, you know, to me, the concern has been, if you look at the preparations, are we really ready to get to a World Cup? Right? That would be my question. And my my point at the moment is I have doubts. Honestly, I have huge doubt that we will get to the for the Senior Women's World Cup, because it feels too tough. In that group, getting a point even is a question. Is broadcasting issues settled? No. Are we not settled so far? Supposedly, again, all of them are working on those things, but at the moment, as far as I know, the broadcasting issue has not been settled. And I don't know if they will be able to settle it. I think that's one of those big questions in the AIFF. Can they actually factually settle the whole broadcasting issue? Because it's a very complex, complicated situation regarding the broadcast. Because normally, when we talk about broadcast, it means that you're saying that a broadcaster has come on board and they will show broadcast the content, meaning the live content. What the AFF have done in their tender is produce the content and broadcast it. So normally a production house does it for you or for the channel, depending on how it is sorted. But so therefore that basic question is still unanswered. So therefore we'll have to wait and see what happens. South United Championship, you said player selection. What's your thought on that? Ritwala, if we're going to give exposure um, uh, at regional level, then younger boys, um, you know, um, that's a good decision. If you ask me, if the younger boys are getting an opportunity at that level, that's good because these boys need to be, given that exposure, need to toughen up, and yeah, that would be right. Ref Sports interviewed Amelia Valverde. I think I saw something. I haven't seen it, and and um, so for me, um, for me, yeah, let me listen to it, and then I think Raj, I can get you a little bit more on what on my thoughts on the same. But yeah, let's see what she said. Very interested to hear what she says, but I haven't heard it. Said the commentator in the live stream ISL football. No, Tripurasa. Again, the question is, would I do it? Why not? If I'm asked to be commentator or an expert, you know, but for that I have to be asked. So again, all of this is undecided. So let's wait and see what happens. Arunava, don't even think of World Cup qualifying for any women's team to be it senior or junior. Besides the sporting reason, also good for mental health. Roshan, uh, um, so therefore, for me, you know, to me, you are in the same thought process and as me because I feel it doesn't make sense. Because to me, if we do it, let's celebrate it. The point is that when we expect something which is, in my opinion, unrealistic. Um, so therefore, for me, if you ask me, I would suggest. Um, I would always say, um, I would love us to qualify. Any team, any team, not any. I think every team. I would love every team of ours to qualify for a World Cup. But the reality is, if it's going to happen or not, in my opinion, I don't feel it. And if it happens, I'm very happy. I celebrate, you'll celebrate, we'll all celebrate. But I'm not going into this with expectations. And I agree, Roshan, with that. It's also for our mental health of thinking of qualifying for a World Cup is great, but it's not realistic at the moment. I'm asking about Women's South United Championship in January. Acha, you're asking about which is upcoming. Yeah. Yeah, it is right because we don't have an under 19 national team and the under 20s are playing in the um, AFC women's under 20s, right? So therefore, it makes sense and it's a good chance. Any of the current Malu talents anywhere near Sunil Bhai's level in terms of talent? Brennel, I'm thinking. I'm going through the names in my head. No. Um, no. Because our problem of talents is, again, to compare with Sunil is very, very difficult because Sunil had a certain level of talent, but in the end, Sunil was a late bloomer, right? Sunil came around and made the top a little later on in his career. So therefore, that if I keep that in mind, that's what it was. So if I get mentally ill after watching a national team constantly ill for the last 3 years, then what about your mental health, sir? Rahul, good evening. To me, if you are getting mentally ill after watching a national team, or if you're after watching Indian football, um, then you know, um, I am in this reality bubble that my level of expectations have gone down, right? I have, uh, uh, um, um, because if you ask me 25, 26, 27 years ago, right, there was hope of seeing India in the World Cup in just a few years, right? I mean, I thought in 1999, in 2000, 2000, especially 2001, we were very, very unlucky in the qualifiers, um, that we could actually qualify for a World Cup. Much less spots, but still there was some hope that we could get it done somehow. Today, we're not even qualifying for the Asian Cup. But I don't take it as a mental pressure on myself. I don't see that being my priority of things, and therefore my hopes, my wishes are there, but I'm not getting carried away by things, and therefore, yeah, let's see if things change. I'm in Azra, gone to Sporting Club Delhi. Do you think they got talent, decent potential? Renal, at their age, a lot of players got potential. I guess Ayman seems to be more talented than Azhar, even though if you'd asked me, I think, was it about 3 years back? 3 years back? No, about nearly 4 years back, I did a little commentary gig for the Kerala Premier League, and those two boys were playing with certain other players in the reserve team of Kerala Blasters. I would have rated Azhar a little higher than Ayman. So therefore, to see what is going to happen, yeah, they have potential, but will they really break through? That will be the really interesting thing, because um, Blasters releasing them and saying, guys, we're not banking on you guys, is a big step, is an interesting step also, I would say. And now under Thomas Schorsch, they have to prove in Delhi if they can make it, right? Different surrounding, different teammates, different team, different environment. This will be a real test for both of them, right? And let's see if they can make it. And very difficult. Yeah, OGs, in my opinion. Okay. Sir, Kuntala Ghosh Dostira qualified in FIFA Invitational Cup tournament. Do you know that history? No. How can an individual qualify for a FIFA Individual Cup tournament? I don't know. I don't know that story. Sir, can be seen from Karasa focusing on low budget foreigners. Maybe that's the way forward for ISA clubs. Jamshid Turisi showed the way, foreigners and salary cap, maybe not east. So clubs without better scouts are doomed. Ogni, you guys mentioned scouts. I don't know if there is a scouting network for foreigners in the Indian Super League. Honestly, your so-called scouts of Indian Super League clubs are agents who offer you players. And then either you say, okay, or the coach says, this player or that player. That is again, there is no scouting happening at international there that way, right? The only club which was doing that, but that was because of their network, was Mumbai City FC through City Football Group, right? So therefore, don't think that we in Indian football work like clubs around the world who actually have a database and they say, oh, want this player for that position. No, no, no. Sorry, to maybe break a myth, but that's something not. Listen, clubs are looking at options. Clubs are looking at what to spend, not to spend, and sometimes it looks like for them maybe even that the one of their foreigner might actually be cheaper than actually trying to get an Indian for position. So then, if you're thinking about it, then it makes sense for them to say, hey, listen, you know what, guys, rather than taking an Indian, let's take a foreigner because he seems to be cheaper. It's an interesting mix that the Blasters have gone for. It's an interesting combination of players that the Kerala Blasters have gone for, because Marlon Roos Trujillo was 5, 6 years, 5 years ago, 4 years, 4, 5, 6 years ago, a top talent in German football, right? I mean, he's part of that Musiala Wirtz generation, but he didn't make the cut, right? He didn't make the cut. Was with the reserve team, the second team of Mainz 05. He was playing Regionalliga Südwest, so he was playing fourth division. Couldn't make it there, and then went to Croatia to in the second tier. Didn't make it there, and then now is trying his luck in India. So therefore, if Renal was asking about talent, that boy is a talented player, 100%. Has he proven his talent at senior level? Most probably not. So it's a gamble. The same thing about UK, about the French winger, again educated at Paris Saint-Germain. Um, you see that in the picture in the PSG jersey. Um, that that guy's going to be good with his basics. From last 3 decades, Brendan, if you ask me, yes, the order can be discussed. Um, but yeah, those are the top three. Mohun Bagan, clear winner of this season, ISL. Arnav, football doesn't live in the theoretical world. You have to still play the games. Mohun Bagan might have the best looking team on paper. But again, let's wait and see if they click, they have a new coach, and then let's see what happens when the league starts. Can the failed tender thing can be a good reason to present in the court for to amending the constitution again? Hannibal, there is no need to do it. There is no need to go to the court. The court has said that the clause 23.3, in which they said that any changes to the constitution, uh, uh, you know, um, is not no longer has to incorporate changes from the Supreme Court. So therefore, that whole clause is no longer there. So therefore, there are certain realities which supposedly are there, or we hear, you hear, I hear, which are not there. If the AIFF executive committee, or if the whole, you could have called a special general body meeting and you can change your own constitution. They don't want to do it, right? They want to keep it in this state. Is there any way we can restrict the court from interfering in AIFF things? Hannibal, yes. You can keep him out. The AIFF can keep him out but again, the AIFF doesn't want to. This AIFF is not strong enough to do in its own interest the things that are needed to run the federation in the best possible way. They're not willing to do it. They're not doing it. This is the whole problem. The AIFF could have gone out of the clutches of the Supreme Court and maybe reactivated its relationship with Reliance, which I still think, in my opinion, is the best option you have. Dada, is it true that an average Asian elite youth player played about 500-600 games by his late teen? Daniel, I don't have the number of matches that a Asian youth player will have played. But 500-600 games is a lot, because you have to calculate a good quality player will play 40 matches a year, right? 40 matches in 10 years means 400. So 600 means 15 years. So that sounds way too much, but I don't know the numbers. Sir, I want even born at the moment, I forget being born. My parents dated that unlucky qualifier moments. For example, I see my national team win bronze in CAFA, and the next month we lose to Bangladesh, Hong Kong. Yeah, but the CAFA Nations Cup, Rahul, that medal, don't again, anyone who got carried away with that, sorry, lived in La La Land. It is, it wasn't that kind of a victory that is changing and shaping the world. The clubs are playing this season with the hope that ISL will get a commercial partner next season. At least that commercial partner, proper broadcast partner, and the things are sorted out, right? You know, and but yeah, and the 20-year thing, to me, I don't know if the clubs will agree to that at all in a few weeks. Can they get a commercial partner with the rules and regulations now? No, I don't. I don't see anyone who's serious as a commercial partner. The situation is, I give you everything, right? I, as the commercial partner, give you everything, and you have total control on it, and you can change everything. Your opinion on EU-India trade deal? Hannibal, again, let's keep politics out of it, but I'll say one thing. I think it's both for both sides is good. And let's keep it at that. I study for 6 hours straight and then have hopes of my team winning, and then we get poor results. I not only feel ill, but also my studies get affected. Also, I only see in soccer and no other sports. Rahul, that's great that you see that. But again, even if you were a fan of a football club, XYZ, it doesn't matter which team it is. You will have phases of good and bad results, and therefore to me that is it's not for me it's not a question of if you can you're feeling right or you're feeling good about it. You will have, as a football fan of a club, of a national team, you will have good and bad phases. Take for example, I was watching the end after doing my live yesterday, Arsenal versus Manchester United. Going into this game, I think 70-80% of Arsenal fans, um, you know, would have gone in with a positive mindset, and maybe 30-40% of Man United fans. After the game, Arsenal is still top of the Premier League, right? They're still 4 points ahead. Arsenal saying, oh, is down the time coming where we're going to get in trouble again? And on the other side, United is like, okay, maybe that's our chance, right? So these are things which have happened, and yeah, don't let it affect your studies. Always do well in your study and your work. Hey Akash, welcome back. I still did not understand why Supergiant and Co is wasting money on white elephants. They cannot play in AC level, neither they once wasting millions just for ISL. Akash, there are 2 points. One, a lot of the players that they now have on their books were signed until 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There are players on contracts for the next, 4.5 years. So that's one. Despite Mr. Goenka saying, we want continental success, I feel after the two pullouts of their matches in Iran, Mohun Bagan were never serious about AFC competitions, right? So therefore, for them, it is ISL. Are they wasting millions? Yeah. If you want to say they're wasting millions, then if you want to apply that logic, then most of the people who are putting money into Indian football are actually wasting money, right? If you some more, some less. So therefore, for me, that's the reality of things, of the situation we have in Indian football. And yes, Mr. Goenka and Mohun Bagan Supergiant are the ones who are spending the most money of all the teams within our system. Right. So, and with a little bit of logic here and there, most probably you would say it does make sense. Right, 29 minutes, nearly full. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. 8 likes of this video only, guys. I think we can do better. And share with other people to join our conversations, join our discussions here. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We stand at 3,716. So thank you very, very much, all of you. And as I say, do like my videos and support Arun Foot here. I did something earlier today on the Kerala Blasters and their transfers. Found it very interesting of what they've done. And I've spoken also with Abik to do an interview in the next few days. So let me see when I can do that. Dada, what's the update on the telecast? Augusto, there is nothing. There is nothing. Supposedly on the 1st, there will be announcement. Yeah. And the problem at the moment is people are getting excited because 4 different entities went to that meeting with the AIFF, pre-bid meeting. And again, that's gotten people excited. But the pre-bid meeting means not that these entities are going to actually factually bid, because the way that they have structured it with production plus broadcast, I've explained it earlier. Normally, these broadcasters show the content, the live content, but someone else produces it. My East Bengal supporter grandpa's like, good to see ISL and DD. Rahul, different generation, and again, they see and think about differently. I liked first four season of ISIF because of marquee players like Ilano. I still remember his free kick. Yeah, Avi, but those are different days. Those were different spendings. If Akash is talking about club spending a lot, then you have to think about how much some of these players were earning in the first not four first three seasons really, I would think, and therefore that's something which is a little different than to what is now being spent on the teams in the Indian Super League. Hi Kumar, welcome back. Madrid supporters mostly have good face. Unable, you would say that, but again, also them sometimes and the club, the players. So therefore, let's wait and see. But yeah, that's Real Madrid for you. Most which have got ACL ban for oh, Hannibal, how many was it? 1 year? Or was it 2 year? I forgot. Um, 50,000 fine, but I don't know what the length was. Was it 1 year? Or was it 2 years? Sorry, I don't have it in my mind. Sir, are you excited even for 1% for the March Wala match? I'm not thinking about the March match. We are in Jan, right? So I in Indian football, you don't. This is what I've learned over the years. You don't think two way ahead, you know. And to me, it is very very clear that be it something in March, in June, September, October, November, when the other windows are happening, we'll see who India is going to play. I'm more interested. Forget the men's team, Rahul. At the moment, I'm more interested of how the women's do in the AFC Women's Asian Cup in March, right? Early March. Amelia Valverde is now there with the team. Let's wait and see. That's that. If you ask me, international football, I'm more interested in the women's national team than in the men's team at the moment. Indian football is very close to my heart, but I don't make this personal thing. Don't let Indian footy to ruin your studies. Don't think about his negative stuff in free time. Akash, very well said, and I totally agree with you on this. I mean, as important as it is, and as much as we love it, I think all of us love it. That's why you guys are here to discuss Indian football. But again, it cannot, psychologically really sort of it should not harm you. It should not harm you, and that would always be my little bit of advice. In regard to Indian football and where it is, what it is, very, very important. If Indian football blows up in any way, then the investors now will be the same as Bitcoin in 2010. Well, maybe. I mean, for me, um, so to me, it can happen, but some of these people have invested so much over the last 11 years um, that that the Bitcoin investment was even if you invested, let's say, 100 rupees, you would get now draws out of it, which will not happen in Indian football, right? We're still quite far away. Madi, the world's not magic. No, Rahul, it isn't. So what's about under 17 national team if AFC Asian Cup? Rahul, nothing. I've not heard anything about preparations of the team because the youth leagues are happening. So that's one thing. And the other thing is Bibiano's contract being extended, or is Bibiano joining maybe an ISL team or an I-League team? I've not heard anything on that front as well. So there is nothing of that. The women's sides have now been sorted. We now have three foreign coaches for the senior women's team. For the under 20s, Joachim Alexanderson stays on, and the under 17s have in Pamela Conti also a new coach. So therefore, that's good. That looks good. And now let's see what happens with the boys. If maybe the AIFF have got a few rupees left here or there somewhere to try and appoint a foreigner maybe for that position as well. Let me share a story. A random video popped up on my Instagram about Cricket World Cup in Bangladesh saga. Apparently, ICC kicked out Bangladesh. Indians were trolling, and Bangladesh people were trolling 1-0. I was surprised to see the changes in attitude. All of them said cricket is useless, and they're now far, far better than us in footy. Not a single comment from Indians about 0-1. Um, Akash, the point is, to me, you know, the so-called cricket diplomacy that India has been trying to do or still does. Again, it is for the government of India to decide. Sadly, I would have told the government always left, right, and center. Um, and for me, um, football is a bigger focus area. But again, it is when sports becomes political, and it is sports today is much more political than it was 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? But it is the way it is, and the world has become much more fractured than it was, let's say, pre-COVID. Um, it is the way it is. And to me, if I look at Bangladesh and the growth of Bangladesh football in the last few years, look at the women's, right? The women's today won the SAF futsal championship with a regular player as the top scorer. So Sabina Khatun, who was also played in the IWL, is the top scorer of that, which speaks about SAF futsal actually, that outdoor players are good enough to play indoors, because normally futsal players are specialized players, but Bangladesh is showing it in the men's and the women's game. So therefore, these are realities. And trolling is never good. If I troll you or you troll me, that's nice, but there might be a day tomorrow, day after, where it will come back to bite you, right? Therefore, there's a lot of memes which have cropped up today about Arsenal fans mocking Manchester United in the run up to yesterday's game, and suddenly the Man United fans are actually able to hit them back. I may be, let's say, crazy, but why? I don't know. I always prefer national coaches for its national team. Okay. Went to Neuhati for RFDL Derby. And Raj, how was the experience? How was the experience? How was the game? How do you think about players rejecting the reduce in salary? Should they get the same salary as their contract says, or due to the current situation, they should take a salary cut? Hannibal, it depends on club to club. Um, there has been discussions within different entities. There are some teams, as we know, for example, FC Goa, where the players have agreed to a certain level of pay cut. I don't know what it is, but it has been agreed to. There have been other teams, and to me, um, yeah, that's others don't. The question to me is, what is the outlook in the future of the club and the entity? Because my question would be, if there is any chance that the club might shut down in the summer, then the question is, if the player thinks, okay, let me try and get a certain amount of salary, and to me, there is no yes or no, and therefore for me, yeah, there is no simple answer to that. And then the question is, depending on the salaries, what level of salaries do the players have? Is it on a higher level? Is it on a lower level? There are so many questions that need to be thought about, that there is no yes or no answer. So yeah, that's the thing, that where we stand. Broadcast update, Smitty. There is no update. Because 1st of Feb, there will be an answer, and I don't know what's going to happen. So let's wait and see. Are we ending up with DD Sports and some other platform? And let's see what happens. There's a saying in Bengali, Lajja Laga Dorka, sir knows what it is. That's how they rejected such cuts when they know their quality. They should be ashamed, I guess, would be the translation of what Rahul says. But no, it's not about quality. Again, Rahul, this is another misconception where I don't agree with the fans. To me, the point here is very, very simple. To me, it is very, very clear that there are different reasons, and the blame is on the clubs willing to pay the salaries, right? If there are clubs who've said, oh, you know what, the salaries are too high, this and that, okay, then why don't you start and not get into this rat race and pay those salaries and say, listen, I have a certain standard, and I will not will not pay above that. They've all done it, right? So therefore, I would not put it on the players. It's a market and demand. You have also, as clubs, not grown the market by creating more talent, and therefore we are in the state we are in, right? That's the complex situation. The chant of in that match is still going on in my head. Our federation players, people are absolutely shameless. They should have tried more. Akash, you know what? If that is something which you think is shameless or whatever, abuse in international football is quite normal. So if you are taking it personally, I don't know if you should. And again, India, has an issue with its neighbors, right? That is something which India should also understand. And then it becomes, again, I don't want sport to be political, but then sport becomes political. And what should, again, the players played their game? Did they play their best? I don't know. Did the coach do his best? I don't think so. Did the federation do his best? Of course they didn't. So again, where does the buck stop? And then you know there's one player from England who made all the difference in that game, and regard to quality and class, and therefore, yeah, let's wait and see where we go. Otherwise, there's no hunger left, sadly. I don't know if that's the problem. Why FC Goa players imagine always do God level acting behavior? Honorable, because I think there's a certain understanding at FC Goa, the way that they want to run the club, the way they want to manage the club, and the way they want to be perceived outside. And to me, yeah, FC Goa has run the club 11 years in a certain, or 11 plus years in a certain way, and for that, they should be praised and given the respect that they deserve. As a fellow Bengali, that insult's respect was very, very personal. I couldn't believe how media ignored that national insult. Yeah, but Akash, they don't care. It's football, right? Again, it is picking out things that they want to criticize or don't want to criticize, or what they want to focus on. And they don't want to focus on this. So, therefore, yeah, it's a reality. And abuse at a football game, if you're taking it personal, sorry, then you haven't understood what football is about. Because if you take these things personal, again, what is said in 90 minutes, keep it on the football field or keep it in the stands, and then be able to shake your hand. We would say in Europe, have a beer and we'd be happy. um yeah, don't take it that way. Again, that abusing players, the families, referees, you must have known that cha and do chants against some of these Shlota Macha slogans, and game was not that level, especially when first team players were playing, especially our U23 performance below average as well as when low was in the stadium. Okay. See, Raj, that's the other problem, right? I mean, Akash is talking about Bangladesh abusing India. Look at the level of abuse East Bengal and Mohun are doing. Look at the abuse that Bengalis, Northeasterners get in India itself, North-South division. These are all problems, right? These problems are not solving themselves, and that's the issue, right? That's the issue that there is, and yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but those are realities. Hey, Blue, welcome back. Are your US friends trying to convince you to come to US for World Cup? What's their arguments? No, Roshan, they're not. I think I've got quite a number of sensible friends. Forget the, uh, you know, uh, I've got friends and family who have said to come. I remember I told my cousin brother last year when he was here in Germany with us. Um, I don't see myself going to the US for the World Cup. And I think so far, I guess I've been proven right to say that at the time. So for me, nothing has changed in that way that I would say, I'm going to the US for the World Cup. But so for me, Roshan, if you ask me, um, I might think going to Toronto for the Germany Ivory Coast match. That's something which I've considered, maybe going to Toronto for a few days and watching a few matches maybe in Canada. But otherwise, not really so much interest of going there. Rather, except of course if there is a working gig around, so therefore, let's wait and see what happens. Sorry. Media itself is, yeah, Raj, that's the whole problem, right? Football tournament, first time you should be in your football team, main team, keeper, yes, in the person, how much members, no formation will found in Kerala. Okay, I don't know what you mean with that. I still can't understand charge. Okay, sorry, don't understand that. Uh, but are we going to play good? Uh, I don't think that's a question to be answered, Blue, right? The question at the moment is, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and the point was this season is happening for the sake of happening, right? Um, my idea, thought process would have rather been to try and focus on the future, and try and build something for the mid to the long term. And the question is, I am doing this again, this short termness. of my thinking process is killing my mid to long term situation, right? I again go back. The AIFF should never have allowed this situation around the, uh, you know, So therefore, for me, what I said in summer 2023 to the AIFF, work out contract with Reliance or get a replacement for Reliance. I stick to that, right? I do not allow a contract to run down. If I've got 2.5 years on the contract, right? That's sounds a long time, but again, this whole jugaad business of kuch na kuch ho jayega, something or the other will happen. We'll sort it out. Didn't work, and that's why we are where we are. And this phase is harming Indian football. Forget the playing. I don't even know how many fans we've lost over the last few months due to this. How much of fans in general Indian football has lost? How many fans each individual club has lost? Um, so therefore, I'm getting them back. Where are the sponsors? Broadcasters, commercial partners, all these things are missing because nothing is happening, right? And yeah, that's the disaster. Even the Blatter posted not to go. Oh, Roshan, that's it. I haven't seen that. The old Mr. Blatter has said not to go. Very interesting. Let me see if I can find it. What did he say? Oh, he's just posted it. Okay. Um, Let me see. What did he say? Ah, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Sepp Blatter tweet from today. For the fans, there's only one piece of advice: stay away from the USA. I think Mark Pete is right to question this World Cup. Interesting. Interesting that the old FIFA president has come out with such a statement. That's interesting, Roshan. That and I whatever Sepp Blatter has done elsewhere, I always am thankful to Mr. Blatter that Mr. Blatter allowed the Indian Super League to happen, despite of the FIFA Council opposition to it. Then Mr. Blatter fought within FIFA to get the Under 17 World Cup in 2017 to India. And I think a lot of people do not know all of this, Um, so therefore, for me, yeah, for me, it's very, very important that is whatever else he's done. Again, I'm not going to go into that, but from an Indian perspective, he's always been a friend of India and Indian football. Without Mr. Blatter, I mean, that was a visit 30 plus years ago as a secretary when he said, you need to have a national league. We start a national league. He came in 2007. The I League was started a few months later on his recommendation. The ISL was allowed. So he's been a very impactful person over the last 3 decades on the things that have happened in Indian football. JLN Chennai today hosted a car launch event. JLN is renovated or painted. I'm not and figure out, but in some pics the stands are looking good. Okay, but the ground, how did the ground look? Because the ground looked last week bad, and you've got an AR Rahman concert coming up on the 14th of Feb. So I don't know what the condition of the ground then will be. I don't know. Did we have good football players like John Jamatia? They don't call for trying. Yeah, but again, if they're not playing at the top level, how are they going to be? Smithy, how are they going to be called for national team? Kolkata urgent needs a new club with new gen fans. I'm looking at United Kolkata, the potential club. Diamond Harbour sees a rising star, but they need fans. Let's see, Akash, if there is a change in that. But let's, so yeah. There was a culture program in Assam, and now people are dreaming about China 2008 level of aura farming and opening ceremony in 2036. We've got to host the Olympics. It's, yeah, again, I think there have been enough reports in the last few days, um, that make me very, very sure that it looks, in my opinion, very unlikely that we're going to get close to hosting the Olympics at the moment, given the realities of India. If you're thinking that India is going to host the Olympics in 10 years, we need to sort out a sporting system first before thinking of those things. Many of my friends and family members settled in US. The social political climate is really concerning every day in UK's. Yeah, Akash was again. Yeah. The less said, the better. Do you know of Kangam Horam? No. Man called Abhishek Banerjee's club. Raj, what their Abhishek Banerjee's club? Yeah. I think the surfer has changed and become very hostile against non-whites. Yeah, that is a problem. Gianni Infantino's trumps whatever. Which is more power performance, national team or national league? It depends on how you see it, right? To me, both of them are important. But if I look at an explosion of interest from fans, then the national team is important. If I look at it from growing talent, players, the system, the ecosystem, then I need the league. So both of that. Yeah. Uh, so therefore for me, yeah. Um, so for me, the thing is both of them are we need it. But in an Indian context, I need success of the national team. I need success at that level to be able to push everything else. So for me, um, if I'm not um, if I'm not successful with my um, national team, I'm not going to be able to grow the base. Even though I will say the women's game to me is a very good example at the moment. Our women's have been more successful than ever before, but nothing seems to have changed, right? You will say, oh, Coca-Cola has come forward. Yeah, but Coca-Cola has come forward because the Coca-Cola FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour was in India. And as a CSR project, they're supporting the Indian women's team for a certain period of time, right? So that's right. They're doing it. They're doing it in most other countries around the world if that country is not being sponsored by Pepsi or someone else. So from that perspective, it has to be seen. So therefore, I need success at that level, but I need also, as I say, if I want to grow players, if I want to grow talent, if I want to grow this, I want to grow that. Yeah, then I need the National League as well. One second. So that's the thing, right? 50, nearly 3 minutes on this live. If you haven't, do like, share, and subscribe. 12 likes so far. We can do better. Um, share with other people to join in. And we stand at 3,717 at this moment in time who have subscribed to the channel. So thank you. And yes, also watch the short videos. I did something on the blasters today. So Roshan, share it in the Malayali groups, please. And thank you very, very much. So please don't mind, sir. I'm just curious in Germany, what cars do people mostly drive and what about you, sir? Rahul, all kinds of brands. I think Roshan would say the same thing. Um, um, you know, be it Volkswagen, be it Audi, Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, all these brands, but you've also you'll see a Toyota, you will see a Hyundai, you will see a Fiat, you'll see a Peugeot, you'll see a Citroën, you'll see all the new uh, um, electric vehicles, and I drive an Audi, and yeah, and I have an Audi Q3, so that's my car. Hey, the Waves, did you see Mumbai's fixtures? We have no marquee fixtures with Mohun Bagan, Goa, Bangalore, FC Goa all away. Are these rigged? No single good home game. The Waves, I don't think anything is of it is rigged. I think the problem has been that the issue for the AIFF has been, so to say, that their problem is that they're trying to figure out what dates are possible, and so therefore um let me see, I've not seen the fixtures yet. I wanted to check them, but I haven't actually checked them, to be honest with you. So that's something. The problem is that certain grounds are available on certain dates, and that seems to put a certain level of pressure, let's put it this way, on the clubs, on the federation in regard to fixtures. So the fixtures this season are a little tricky from what I understand, and it hasn't really worked. Let me see, what is it? Here the tentative schedules. One second. Let me read out some of the matches that are in this tentative schedule. So supposedly on the opening day on the Saturday, 14th of February, we would have Mohun Bagan Supergiant versus Kerala Blasters at the Salt Lake Stadium as the opening. Very surprising. I think the most matches we've had as an opener have been Mohun Bagan versus Kerala Blasters. And the evening fixture would have FC Goa versus promoted Inter Kashi at the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Fatorda in Goa. Sunday would see Jamshedpur FC versus Mohammedan Sporting. JSW Bangalore FC, okay, interesting that JSW is allowed to be named, versus Sporting Club Delhi at the Kantirava as the second match. And Monday would also host a double header with Odisha FC versus Punjab FC at the Kalinga, and East Bengal versus Northeast United at the Yuva Bharati Karangan. And on the Thursday, and this is interesting, to be confirmed. So this is interesting. It shows the Kalinga to be confirmed, Mumbai Football Arena to be confirmed. Okay. Then we go down further. Who has home matches? Kerala Blasters versus Mumbai City at the EMS Stadium, which means Calicut, to be confirmed. So there's another stadium to be confirmed. Who else do we have? Sorry, to be confirmed. So, okay. And it says, okay, 13th March, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, Chennai. So Chennai could be hosting without to be confirmed, right? Northeast playing. Inter Kashi supposedly playing in at the Kalinga in Bhubaneswar. Okay, so that is one. Interesting. Mohammedan supposedly playing in Jamshedpur. Okay. This is interesting. Let me check. Yeah, Inter Kashi, but to be confirmed. As Kalinga has not been confirmed. And yeah, it looks like Mohammedan Sporting will not play in Kolkata, but rather play in Jamshedpur. And the final match date, and it says 17th of May, but dates to be confirmed later, because depending on, I think, the decision-making matches in the league, in last match day we'll have Inter Kashi versus East Bengal, Kerala Blasters versus FC Goa, Jamshedpur FC versus Odisha FC, Punjab FC versus Mumbai City FC, Mohun Bagan Supergiant versus Sporting Club Delhi, Northeast United FC versus Mohammedan Sporting, and Chennai FC versus JSW Bangalore FC. That's the last match day. So therefore, that is what is now on the tender site on as answer to the queries that the broadcasters seem to have had. Yeah. So therefore, they have 5 packages. The package A is production of the world feed broadcast bracket on linear television and streaming. Second B package is only broadcast for linear television and streaming. And then there is a C package broadcasting on linear television, D package on digital platform, and E package production of the world feed. Okay. So interesting is that theoretically you could have the production rights and the broadcasting rights for television and OTT, or all of that can be split. So that is something that the AIFF seems to have understood. Tentative schedule is announced, and there is an annexure in regard to minimum production. Okay. So this is the AIFF saying that you have at least 8 manned cameras plus 2 unmanned cameras behind the goals. 3 cameras along the center line, 2 offside cameras, 2 unmanned cameras behind either goal, 1 reverse VIP, camera, one hand camera, and one high corner drone camera subject to feasibility at the venue. So this is um, yeah, this is what is being put out there as answers to those. Um, the world feed will be in English. Uh, Selected bidders can also create feeds in the regional languages. There needs to be a marketing and promotion plan of the league and minimum broadcast obligations. Okay, so that is what has been given as answers to last week's meeting. So that is just out there, right? After Abdul returned to railway station, a frustrated Mohun fan called some Bangladeshi to go back to Bangladesh, which was quite unnecessary and huge argument between fan bases, whole traffic disturbed, 1 hour wasted to sort them out. Yeah, just they don't think about these kind of things. No sponsor, no taker for IWL, IWL2 is also a statement to keep in mind. Roshan, exactly my point, right? If we want to talk about the women's game and the success of the women's game, sorry, which has been there because the women's team qualifying for the Asian Cup is in my opinion a huge thing. I would say, yeah, is also a statement that actually no one has come forward to sponsor the senior women's national team or any of our leagues. All realities. Yes, I have seen the fixtures, or we just spoke about it. You didn't judge the transfer controversy in your short video. Roshan, I can't judge the transfers because, again, Raul Borges to me makes sense. Marlon, I've spoken actually some people who knew him at Mainz. Thought he would again. Someone said to me that he thought that this guy could become a Bundesliga player, right? He's shocked that the path he's taken via Regionalliga Südwest, and then second division Croatia, and now, um, Kerala Blasters. I don't know if you've ever maybe by chance have seen him in the Südwest, so therefore that's it. How do you see the women's football in India? Is it more successful in recent years, but it's not getting attention at all? And in larger picture, it seems that the men's football doesn't succeed. Women's football alone can't do big changes in the ecosystem. Blue, that's the point. I think Roshan follows along with Shaggy more women's football, much more women's football than I do. And maybe at the right time I invite those two and they can maybe talk about women's football in India. But sorry, for me, the big point is very, very simple that, if I look at women's football in an Indian context, it hasn't reached the levels I thought which are possible for the women's game, if you ask me, right? The success of women's football has been good, right? But commercially, it's not brought you any money. And it depends. Forget the men's game also. Due to the ISL, the interest of Reliance in running the ISL, that is where the money has been coming in over the last years, 10, 11 years, right? So that's the problem. We're stuck. Commercial partner, there is no Mansmidi. Fixtures out. Yes, Raj, there's a tentative fixtures are out. And Blue, as said, your job is to use this fixture list and then rework it accordingly. You are rich, you're driving an Audi. No, Hannibal, this is a funny one, which in an Indian context, a lot of people said when I first bought an Audi. When was this? 2008, right? No, it is a normal car over here, right? If for you driving a Maruti or a Hyundai or even a Kia is for us driving an Audi, Mercedes or BMW in Germany. Roshan, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the... Sorry. That's the reality of Germany and cars. Sub futsal is over. We turn out to be the Arsenal of men's and women's football. Okay. Futsal in my... Okay. Pranjal, we are not focusing on it. And Again, there were certain people, saviors and messiahs, who were looking at it 2, 3 years ago. They've not done anything about it. So yeah, counter starts now. Wait, how many times they change? Luke, this is original schedule, right? Download it from the tender page of the AIFF, and yeah, and then we will talk about it. Yeah, 3 May derby, sir. Let's go. Yeah. Why no big matches in the last match day? It feels weird to not have Mohammad Supergiant, FC Goa, Moon City, etc. So this big match term is weird as we don't know. Because someone in the AFF seems to have made a schedule with again, they were trying to do a derby in the start of the season, right? I mean, if that's it, right? So for me, yeah, if I look at the first match day, I need to get people interested, right? Mohun and Kerala is a good one. Goa, Intakashi, Jamshedpur, Mountain Sporting, Bangalore FC, Sporting Club Delhi, Odisha, Punjab, East Bengal, Northeast, Mumbai, Chennai. Yeah, then the opener is the banger, right? And all the important matches, so to say, said towards the end. I don't know. Yeah, it's 3rd of May, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal. Interesting. And then we'll see, right? What they do, because interesting is also that despite them saying that they'll only play Thursday to Sunday, we have a lot of Wednesdays and Mondays in the mix, it seems. So it seems like someone has listened to what I've been saying to them and said, hey guys, don't have too many 5 p.m. matches when the summer comes around the corner. So they've tried to cut it down, not have too many evening matches. So that in my opinion is a good step to see. Anything new on Chennai FC apart from Imran Khan? Karthik, nothing. I know that they are looking at players at different position, you know, and so yeah. How many years deal? Sorry, I don't know which deal you're talking about, Raj. Mumbai got Odisha FC, SC Delhi, Chennai FC, East Bengal, Northeast FC. That's such a sad roster. Yeah, the Waves. Again, I don't know how draw of lots. So I don't know how they calculated of who's playing whom, when, and where. I would love to know, but makes no sense. I guess AFF wants for only this year, because for next year full league will happen, so the broadcast deal will be complete different. Yeah, Blue. I don't even know what next. Forget next year. All that is happening at this moment at time is, uh, you know, uh, um, you know, um, next season. I'm not, So yeah, I don't know. Avi says, I belong to UP here. Local media don't publish news about football, but they publish news about Zimbabwe cricket matches. Pathetic media. Avi, cricket seems to sell. Your local cricket, your whatever cricket. So for me, that is something. Um, you know, it's a sad reality, especially in the northern belt. It is a problem that football is not getting its value that I think it needs to deserve. So therefore that's the reality. How have Sunday point foreign coaches, good ones, I'm shocked how they even think it. Raj, it's not them. It's, as I said, with the players coming into India, it's via agents, right? Amelia Valverde has come through someone who has done stuff with Costa Rica, and the same applies to Pamela Conti. And so that's the thing. Thanks to 100 to 100% tariff on foreign cars by Indian government. Yeah, that's the reality. No comment. Why are you spamming Smitty? Smitty, you've abused also. Sorry, I'm blocking you for now. Right, Smitty is off for now. Sorry, no more comments from your side. I don't want this nuisance. Arunava, you and Ranjit were on speaking terms before with everyone that's happened. Now, can you see him in the eye, knowing the things he's done? Would you call him out if you see him next? Yeah, yeah, I would. The waves, I've done it. I've told him on the face, right? And if he is even 1% honest, 1% honest on these things, he wouldn't argue with me. You know, so therefore, again, private persona and public persona might be different on these topics. These German brands are affordable in their own country. It's obvious, like we have Tata and Mahindra. It's not obvious like that, but yeah. Yeah, again, why? Yeah, if take him out. Broadcast deal for how many years? It's just for 3 months. It's Raj, it's not a long-term deal. So do you see the fixtures being changed for the broadcast, if any, and only the timings? Prasad, everything is possible. Again, to me, the problem, uh, um, the issues is not just there. Look at, if you see the fixtures, you have the Mumbai Football Arena, the Kalinga Stadium, as well as the EMS Stadium, all as to be confirmed. And Kalinga is not only home of Odisha, but it seems to be also the home of Interkashi. So therefore, to me, there are three venues which are a question mark. And I guess they will try to keep this fixture going. But I have a question on April and May, because if I look at, let's say I look at, game week 10 and 11, which is at the end of April, beginning of May, right? I have East Bengal versus Punjab FC on the 24th. I have Mohun Bagan versus Interkashi and East Bengal versus Odisha FC. That could be a time of Bengal elections, right? I have again Salt Lake Stadium. I have the EMS Stadium on the 10th of May. So I'm not sure. So therefore for me, so therefore that is something that is happening, and so therefore that is something that is there. So yeah, that's why that's a problem. So changes 100%. It could be due to the broadcast. It could be also for realities of that's happening. So I'm very, let's see what happens. Yeah, Raj, I'm the moderator of this, so I've done it. Sorry for that you had to face that. He jeopardized Anwar's career. And the Webs, done a lot of things. I hope Anwar faces a ban solely to get him in check for acting above his authority. What do you think would be the verdict of CAS? The Vapes go back to the old things, to me, to me, the point is, I go back to my first video that I did on this topic. Just look at Anwar Ali, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Arunfoot, and I will stick to it. If I go by the rules, Ranjit Bajaj, Anwar Ali, East Bengal met while the player still had X number of years of his known contract with Mohun Bagan in place. It's illegal. Serious. There's no, so therefore for me, that's one that we need to look at. And if I have that as my benchmark of taking things forward, then for me, the simplest thing that can be or should be done of talking about things, then I have to ban the player for 4 to 6 months, put a fine on the player. East Bengal, as an approaching club, gets a 2 transfer window ban and a substantial fine in crores. The same applies to Delhi FC for a player which is not theirs because they've loaned it out to someone else. A fine, substantial fine. And, so therefore, so therefore, it's a nuisance, and So therefore, for me, so therefore, for me, that's the situation that we are in, and so therefore, let's wait and see what happens on that front. Musa video and Mick Cup, he's hyping them. Raj, again, I'm not even getting into this whole Mick Cup conversation because, again, for me, all these tournaments, um, I don't know, it's of no value at the moment, and I'm not going to get into that, and it makes completely no sense. Yeah, sorry, Blue. Sorry, Raj. I don't know what his problem suddenly is. Yeah, I'm trying to block him. I've tried it now. Let's see. And yeah, let's see. Can't they just do the match in closed door during the elections like they did in WPL? Prasad, the point of the clubs wanting to host matches was that they want to generate a little bit of revenue, right? So if I say I'm doing closed door matches, then you could have done a one venue all play against each other, right? Interkashi home ground in Kalinga and Mountain Sporting in Jamshedpur. It seems what it is. Interestingly, is that then that means that the idea of saying, hey, Interkashi as well as Mountain Sporting, you play no home matches, you know, then you only play away matches. That seems to have been turned down generally. So therefore, we are where we are, you know. So how come he escaped from the PSC for entire season and East Bengal left without any punishments in transfer windows? I hit more, but they were screwed here. The Vapes, that's the question that the PSC, that the appeals committee, that the AIFF need to answer, right? That answer is not there. So to me, it makes no sense. It makes no sense of what has happened. And to me, um, you know, to me, the point is very simple. You know, that we are in a situation, uh, where are we going with this, right? At the moment, to me, the big question at the end of the day is how can we solve these issues in the best interest of Indian football, which hasn't happened, right? As the elections may clash, more matches can go there from Kolkata, Guwahati. Blue could be. Jamshedpur and Bhubaneswar are the closest locations close to Kolkata. Um, I would. Sorry, there seems to be a problem now at the back end. So therefore, for me, um, I'm interested to see again, Blue. Your task next 4 months. Keep track of it. Hero again sponsored the Dead Hockey League. Again, new sponsors came, but I'm sure looking at the relative viewership and empty stands, it's really hard for them to earn something. Raj, the point with the hockey league is, and there we go, that hockey still has a certain standing among sponsors because of the success of the Indian hockey team, right? So if I look at that, expenses are too high, but it is professional. But again, there is no live viewership or viewership. Again, you're not playing home and away. You are doing, and this is the danger that the ISL cannot fall into on the long term. That you do one venue events, which has happened. Which whenever you can travel home and away, or you group a certain number of teams, play matches here, play matches there, you can do it, but you can't do a one venue event for such leagues or even two venue events. So therefore, that's the big problem that I see with at the moment with hockey or with any other sport in an Indian context, which is a problem, right? So therefore, it is very difficult in my opinion, and it's not getting any easier at this given point in time. So let's see what happens. Even if Modern Sporting and Inter Kashi are not playing on their home, they still have to organize their home matches at their given venue, right? Prasad, I don't know if that's the case of how they will sort it. That is all questions in the air because that is a question that the clubs will have to answer. Or maybe, let's say, Inter Kashi and Mohammed Sporting outsources to the home team and say, listen, guys, can you organize it? I will pay you a figure X. Can you organize it for me? I don't know what that conversation has been. I know that there have been conversations again. Interkashi, initially the idea was to play from Kalyani. That seems to have been turned down. I guess the venue was not accepted, most probably. Then they said, we want to play all our matches away. Then Guwahati was an alternative for them. It seems like Northeast United seems to have blocked them from playing there. But again, also elections, Assam might have been a topic in there. And then now it seems like they've freezed on Bhubaneswar. But Bhubaneswar, like Chennai, like Kerala, Kozhikode, Calicut, and Mumbai, all these venues are to be confirmed. I know that Mumbai City is working to try and play at home. Let's see if they can do that. Hockey League streamed on YouTube and on DD as well, similar with ISL can be. Raj, given the realities, maybe that's the best option we have this season. And I'm not I'm not anti YouTube. I actually like the idea of saying, you know what, we're going to show, and yeah, that's the reality. So hockey can be fully successful if all matches are Odisha, Jharkhand. Sir, being honest, late, sir, except that you can do hockey in same venue. Final all tickets get set. I don't even know if in Jharkhand then Odisha you will sell all tickets, right? You've had an interest, and every time there was an interest at some stage, and then it got lost somewhere. Also, somehow PSC verdict was adjourned by Delhi High Court, and then without any verdict, AIFF legal committees forgot their actual name, starting hearing the case, the most messed up case in Indian sports. Yeah, the problem is, Blue, that, and this is, again, this is the delay tactic that Ranjit has used to his advantage. And then, when he's to an advantage, he's friends with the AIFF. When it's not to his advantage, he abuses the AIFF. It just needs to end. Again, it is not about Anwar Ali on as an individual, but there are laws of the game which is followed around the world, and in Indian with Jugaad we are working around them. That is the sad part. It doesn't matter if which club, which player, the rules are the rules and they need to be applied. Simple as that. Sir, late F announced, and yeah, they did. X9P, they have, and yeah, it is the schedule that to me is fine overall. But again, we'll have to wait and see what stays of these schedulings, because this is what I guess this has to be made because the broadcaster wanted something, because it is clarifications in response to what the bidders have asked, and so therefore that is going to be interesting to see, and to me, yeah, let's wait and see what happens, and we will have to wait and see. I'm not sure where we're heading with this, but it is the way it is, and yeah, let's wait and see what happens in the coming days. But sir, when India won 3 championships, no one came to sponsor. So success, I don't think it can make difference. Women team, no sponsor. Raj, those 3 successes were not successes. It was sold. It was a social media success, right? It was India's social media success. But if you talk to corporate India did not regard these as successes. For us, success means at least Asian level success, right? Which you don't have, and therefore for me, I was there at the SAF Cup. I saw the craze at the Kantirava. I saw the craze on social media, but I didn't see it in the corporate world in India at that time. So those are some of the realities of things, and for me, it made no sense. So therefore, yeah, we'll have to wait and see where this all goes down the road. Bundesliga tours on YouTube, right? Tushar, they might be in India, but I don't know that. To be very honest, I don't know if Bundesliga tours on YouTube. I don't know what platform they would be on. So maybe you know more, the others as well. Yeah, in Hockey League, they allowed use of corporate names like JSW, Shachi. They've done, again, in hockey, they've tried out everything. In hockey, they've tried everything, and it is the 3rd league. Again, if you see that 3 entities have opted out of the men's and women's team after last season. And I remember I was sitting in Kolkata with someone who was involved in the Hockey India League. And he told me, listen, overall, they will tell you it's a success, but it was commercially a complete failure. A lot of teams had issues with payment of players and all. So therefore, yeah. Sir, being honest, it would be better ISL on YouTube and DD Sport. X9P, I agree with you. Given the realities, yes. I think at the moment, I think YouTube can give you a certain level of reach. So therefore, I agree with you. And again, Sony most probably in that lot is the best. If you ask me, OTT fan code would be good. But if those things are not possible, then, DD, its OTT platform waves and maybe AFF YouTube, bring it on. Because the international feed is going to be also interesting because can they keep it on one football or does it shift to maybe, I don't know, whatever platform, does it shift maybe to FIFA Plus? That is one thing that we'll have to observe. Do you see multiple bids as the companies can now bid for one thing like OTT, only TV, only, etc.? Prasad, I don't know, to be very honest. The question is, they've now clarified that. I've not seen any figures of what they're demanding from the respective people to, OTT, TV, and etc. Or are they saying, hey, listen, put it free on your platform? So therefore, Prasad, I honestly have no guess on which way, Um, so therefore, let's wait and see. Yeah. Sir, is it government need should make law to allow PSU to be commercial sponsors of leagues just like Indian Oil, Durand Cup, yes, except Sami tournament. That's why Indian Oil. Listen, in the days of PSU being forced to sponsor things are gone. So makes no sense. Again, PSUs are only there when there are no, so therefore for me, no, doesn't make sense. Sir, accept success can't bring sponsors Asian level. It doesn't bring at any level. Success sponsors only. Yep. Can no. Success should. Will it? That's a different, YouTube 100K watching in Kerala Blasters match AFF YouTube. That's not bad, no? But live viewership on YouTube, I doubt will cross 100K. Like on Hotstar, the number reached 20 lakh. How was that impossible? Is there so viewership? Then where are they? Raj, again, the question is how are they calculating it? Right? I am having, on general, enough viewers on this channel. But if I look at the numbers on Arun Foot now, on my live videos, where I was getting 400, 500, now I'm getting 250, 300. So the question is, how do they calculate? Yeah. So, and the 20 lakh is also accumulated. It is not concurrent live viewers in Indian football. I'm an Azhar twin. Goku, I'm an Azhar twin brothers moving to Delhi, Sporting Club Delhi. Rumor spreading that. What do you take on this? Goku, I did a short video today on the transfers in and outs of Kerala Blasters. Maybe something for you to look at, where I in a little bit more detail discuss it. But to me, it is that the Blasters will no longer want to do something. And yeah. And therefore, for me, let's see what they can do. Yeah, very talented boys. But have they really lived up to their expectations? And if you ask me that question, then I'll have to say it's a big no. As a disappointment, I would say, with the talent that these two have had. And yeah, so therefore, let's wait and see where it goes. It would be better DD Sports Wave OTT, which is DD Sport OTT, AFF YouTube would be better. Sony higher chance will ask money to telecast. X9P, I don't know. That's why, again, let's leave this space of speculation. You are speculating, I'm speculating, we are all speculating. I don't know if Sony's interested, right? Or Sony is just going there for the meeting. Last time around, they went for the meeting, they didn't have a clue, right? In the first tender process. Fanco just attended to understand what is there, just to listen to it. So there was no serious interest. So that's why, let's see. Yeah, sponsored hockey team. Okay, Raj. Hotstar didn't show live viewership, if I can remember. Yeah, Blue, it's not, it's accumulated. It showed in numbers, but the numbers were ridiculous. I always thought, and I thought it was accumulated or something of the sort because everything else doesn't make sense to me, at least. Right? I will surely check it out later. Thanks, Goku. Do and share it. Share it with your friends who like and watch Kerala Blasters content. It's according to you, sir. Is 100K watching is good? Yes. X9P for Indian Standards again. I can just look up the numbers in for Super Cup. No, I let me go back to the AFF YouTube channel, right? Yeah, the Indian Football YouTube channel of the AFF. Like I look at live matches. So IWL, right? IWL which were the top games? Top games is always involves East Bengal, 38K against Gokulam Kerala. Kickstart has 33K. Nita Football Academy has 40K against East Bengal. East Bengal versus Sesa has 45,000. East Bengal versus Gharwal has 49,000 and 72,000 for Setu FC versus East Bengal, which I find is a huge number for women's football, right? Okay, then we go to Super Cup, right? Super Cup numbers, Rajasthan United versus Sporting Club Delhi, 188,000. Kerala Blasters versus Sporting Club Delhi, 914,000, right? Okay, to just give you that reality. So Blasters, Rajasthan United, Kerala Blasters, 1 million accumulated viewers on Indian Football AFF channel, right? To give you another check. East Bengal, Chennai, 550,000. East Bengal, Dempo, 605,000. So that's 6 lakhs. So Kerala Blasters, Rajasthan United is 10 lakhs who watched it, right? So therefore, those numbers are actually not that bad, right? So if you think about it, um, you know, Bangladesh viewership is crazy. Raj, I saw that when I gave an interview, right, on the match day morning, right, Bangladesh was India. T Sports interviewed me on that morning, and again that day I had to wake up half an hour earlier to give the interview, then travel to the airport, fly to London for meetings, blah blah. Did my live and all. I think that interview had like 40,000 people watched it. 40,000 people watched my blah blah. So therefore, it is some of these numbers can be quite impressive. So from that perspective, I would say, yeah, I can imagine the viewership being counted like the number of matches, total number of matches sounds, but total number per team is actually low. No, it's not that bad. So for me, it is 1 million views for a Kerala Blasters game overall, even if it's accumulated. Even for again, we're still talking Indian football, right? For Indian football standards, that's a lot. 500,000 or 600,000 for East Bengal matches are good. And again, most of the other teams were playing, or the bigger teams were playing actually on Star Sports, right? They were not playing on the AFF stream. So therefore, that is then the interesting part of how does this break up? Because people like you and I come in and watch these matches as well. So therefore, the numbers should be then a little higher than they are at the moment, right? The Malaysian footballers have been. Goku, the numbers are insane. As I say, for Bangladesh, that level has been insane to say the least of their interest. Even Nepal, forget. There's some Bangladesh media report that the national team player right back or left back linked with Karawas, the deal didn't went actually broken. I don't know that. Don't answer this news. Goku, given the realities at the moment, I don't see a Bangladesh player coming to India. I don't see it, and it would be. A player from Bangladesh, Kerala Blasters. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't see it happening. It can reach 102,000 Kerala Blasters Kolkata Derby live match in YouTube F. No, I think it will go higher. The Blasters have the potential of being a million plus. So therefore, for me, that's one. I think not 100,000, 200,000. I think the Blasters can reach a million, as I've just told you, right? And I think there will be a bigger interest in the Blasters in an ISL setting than in the Super Cup. So therefore, a little bit of success and the numbers could actually then also swell. And if I'm looking at it, which was the worst? 1 second, let me see which was the worst match. The worst game shown. The least watched match of the Super Cup is Mohammedan Sporting versus Punjab FC, and that still is 98,000, right? 98,000. All other matches are a lakh plus, right? So that's interesting. That's it's not the numbers are better than I thought they would be, to be very honest, guys. So to be honest, I would be declared Reliance Dalal, but Reliance Broadcasting Quality is so good and ground so good. Reliance Foundation League doing great work. Hats off to Reliance JSW wasting money. Yeah, but X9P, you know what? To say that someone is doing a good job when they are doing a good job, I think is not wrong to do, right? And so therefore, to me, for you to say that someone has done well is not wrong. Sorry. YouTube numbers can be more than you star Geo Hotstar, though that might not happen due to bad publicity. Blue, I do. I again, I don't. Again, I would like to. If anyone of you wants to find out and tell us in the coming days how the numbers are calculated on Geo Hotstar, how the numbers are calculated on YouTube, and then we can discuss it. That would be interesting. But again, we're talking about a Super Cup, and not even a highly broadcast Super Cup shows you the level, right? So therefore, for me, it is not bad. Those numbers are actually good, if you ask me. So yeah, let's wait and see. But streaming on YouTube, how will the broadcaster win money? Raj, it is not about money. Which broadcaster is making money on Indian football? Right? The broadcaster, either again, if you put it on YouTube, it's at a no cost. Right? So it might be that you say nobody picks up the main package of production, right? The package B, which the AIFF is talking about, right? The Where is it? The package B, which is broadcast. No, sorry, not broadcast. Sorry, package E, production of the world feed only, right? That at the moment sounds like that would be what the AIFF and the clubs have said, the 9 crore that they've earmarked for match day production. That then means that um, um, that package D is unsold, meaning that the AIFF themselves puts it on YouTube. That would be, but they get someone to broadcast it on linear television. So therefore, yeah, that's my understanding of things at this moment in time. Again, I might be wrong, but again, and people don't want to invest 19 or 25 rupees. Raj, that's another problem. Therefore, before I think about going to fan code, right? And you know, that's why YouTube most probably is the best bet to get reach. I compared viewership from last SAF Women's Championship. Nepal, Bangladesh, and Bhutan outnumbered the other teams, including India, significantly. Roshan, I remember we had this discussion about the following of matches in Nepal, right? When they were streaming, or even the Bangladeshis were streaming matches, the numbers are ridiculous. You know, Mohun Bagan versus Mumbai City going up 200, 300,000. It depends on Mohun Bagan, Raj. How much Mohun Bagan can pull. Mumbai City will pull a certain number, but Mohun Bagan will be the bigger one. Mohun Bagan, East Bengal are big. The Blasters are the biggest. If I just look at the numbers that I've just seen, the Blasters are the big, and I've said this always. If Kerala Blasters stays the success, the numbers will increase massively. Yeah, that's another thing, Guku. Very, very right. If the Blasters can win at the start, stay in the race, who knows? Yes, it can go higher broadcasting quality, better Kerala Blasters. It can reach 1 million. Derby can be 500K, 1 million. I would soon try Pablos for share ISL link to friends. X9P, the Super Cup YouTube AIFF coverage, which was not Star Sports Standard from the stadium. Yeah, we're talking about Bambolim, got 1 million views. Right? So there is no question of the broadcast quality. All that you guys have been saying, oh, this needs to be that. No, if there is a broadcast and there is a certain set of fans who wants to watch it, the numbers seem to be there. We're talking still about Super Cup. And those who are genuine Indian football fans, they have been starved of Indian football over the last, year. Right? Not year, but 9 months. Right? We've only had the Super Cup now. So therefore, from that perspective, there is, and as Goku just said, if there's a little bit of success of Blasters of East Bengal, the numbers can swell. Honestly, Kerala Blasters or East Bengal are most likely to win this season. Raj, I you guys are already going way ahead of yourselves. I would never say that Mohun Bagan will defend its title. I will never say XYZ club is going to be a challenger. It's a 13-round league. If you, in the first 4 matches, can win 3 matches and draw a match and put yourselves on 10 points, you can be up there. If you lose 3 or 4 matches, you could be bottom of the table. And this is a 13-match league is very, very short, and injuries, team gelling, this, that, all of those factors will come in. So don't get ahead of yourself and say, listen, this team or that team. I'm from UP. I would share ISL link to all my friends. If it telecasts on YouTube, maybe they will get interested in football. Do it. X9P, do that. If you compare with other South Asian or ASEAN countries, live broadcasting of ISF is there, and Reliance indeed did a great job. Yeah. Goku, that is what I've heard from people in as you say, in the ASEAN region, right? Someone said the other day, right? Indonesia, someone said that the Super League in Indonesia's the coverage is not as good as it was in the ISL. So therefore, there are certain realities we've not recognized the quality that we've had in the ISL over the last um, um, yeah 11 years. By the way, are every club playing each other once or some other calculation? No, once. So if 14 teams agree, everyone's playing each other once. Yes, Canvas has seen East Bengal winning, probably Mohun Bagan would become Began and Romal Ruti with Australian foreigner. Let's see. Again, as I said, don't get carried away. So I'm talking about live concurrent views, not highlights. I'm not talking about highlights. I'm talking about a live broadcast. Concurrent views, again, that calculation is never, that I can only tell you, or you can tell me if you are watching a match and then actually are following for 90 minutes, how many people are watching. Then we can have that conversation. I am saying about the accumulated views. 1 million accumulated views of a Super Cup match involving the Kerala Blasters for me is, in the current realities and scenarios of Indian football, to me a very, very good number. If you ask me, it's a very good number, right? Because there are certain realities that we have to accept. So therefore, let's wait and see what the AIFF does. I think YouTube is not the worst option. The first match between Mohun and Kerala will set the tone. Yes, Blue, and I've seen a few of those. The most interesting one I would have seen live would have been in Kochi 2019, right? Blasters versus Mohun Bagan. And which was 80K at the time. And the Blasters coming back to win 2-1. I think Batuk Beche was one of the goal scorers, if I'm not wrong. I'm still wondering why Kerala not hosting any national team matches of India. I'm not talking about Kochi Stadium. I'm talking about Greenfield Stadium in Trivandrum. It's both approved FIFA and ICC. Goku, is that a government or is that a private stadium? That would be I think it's a private stadium and it has not hosted matches since 2015. I remember the SAF Cup where Changte, as a 17-year-old, made his debut for India. 18-year-old. 18, I think 18. Changte was 18 at the time. That was the time when we were, so to say, playing in that venue, right? So I've not seen any more matches after that. Yeah, 2015. What do you think of signing from Kerala versus C? Aman, interesting. I think Rowland gives them experience, gives them legs in the midfield. Good signing, I would say. Marlon, Ross, Trujillo, super talent in Germany 4 or 5 years back. Couldn't make the cut. So therefore, 2 very interesting signings, I would say. But I'm not sure if Kevin Yoke also can make it. Again, interesting to see, because a few days ago it could have been like, the Blasters are not signing any foreigners, and suddenly they are. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Sir, yes, I accept Super Cup quality, not much bad. If Canvas it gets success and ISL and YouTube, hats off to all Mala people too. Passion supporting all support, especially football. Hats off. Okay, extent P. Yeah, quality was good, but Indian much never appreciate if you would watch starting season as a broadcast model is so good, good, capable. Example, I was there in the first season. I remember, I was an expert, or I was involved with the club, so I was there and gave an interview in there, so I know the quality was brilliant. If Mohan and Kerala SSC become a classic of Indian football, would help as a viewership higher after after Derby, it would be popular. X9P, that match is going to be higher because there will be more people watching Mohun Bagan versus Blasters or East Bengal versus Blasters because the Blasters overall is the most watched team at the moment in Indian football. Also, look at social media following discussions, this and that. They're the most watched team. If Kerala Blasters see win the first match and against the defending champion, then the numbers can go crazy. If they lose something, it will dip. So it will be interesting. It could be, again, the Kerala Blasters fans are used to a lot of bad luck. Um, so let's see. I want to share my own things. Myself played ISL match in classroom when all my friends were present with me. After looking at Mumbai City FC jersey, someone said, "Why Man City is playing in ISL?" And yeah, Raj, that's it. Yes, I guess Ron is in addition to women since Lagato left. Yeah, Roshan, not really Lagato, but again, you need also Vibin has had also some injury problems in the last couple of seasons, right? So he's not played through the whole seasons. And Vipin is someone who has to take up, move that step up, right? Typical Indian footballer at his age, stagnating, not taking that next step. So he has to, we've talked about him as a talent. We've talked about him as someone who can challenge players in the national team. Um, so therefore, that will be interesting to see. So therefore, for me, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Because the football fans are following European football, they were watching quality matches in a quality field with high quality telecast and matches. You're going to blame them that if they want the same thing in India. No, Goku. I totally disagree on that point because you have to accept reality. Indian football, European football. And um, if we don't understand that, to me, that's a basic understanding that Indian football cannot challenge European football from that perspective. I think that's a false flag, a false friend, whatever we want to call it, because that level can't be compared, you know? So for me, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Signing news. Utsav, the AIFF has released a tentative schedule of the AIFF as regard to an answer to the broadcasting meeting that they had last week. ATK was Kerala buses. He used to be called Classico, then Mohun Bagan Supergiant was Mumbai City, replaced them after 2020. So yeah, that's true. That's true. They watched roughly 5 minutes and left uninterested, so some European footy fans don't care about ISL. Yeah, that's the thing. Kerala SSC fan base crazy nation level. Yeah, they are. Aman, yes, Mohun Bagan Supergiant was Kerala would be the most watched already. We know it could be 1 million live watching if YouTube telecast. I don't know how many will watch. That's why we are doing an accumulated number of people watching it. That is, again, mixing up those two things is very difficult. Yeah, after that circus of red cards, it's Mohun Bagan versus Mumbai City. Yeah, it was, right. Yeah. We are used to deal with these kind of situations, not a big deal. Yellow says Goku. Sir, how is it that Kerala were able to build a fan base of their own while Hyderabad, Chennai failed, even though they have good urban crowds? Utsav, it's not about urban crowds, it's about football culture, right? And it's about the craziness. Think about it that the Blasters were actually not only drawing fans from in and around Kochi, but they were drawing fans from across the state, right? They were drawing fans um, from Malappuram and Kannur and all those places in the northern belt of Kerala. So it's really interesting to see the EMS Stadium, which Calicut is much closer to Malappuram. If the support might be even more. And it's not about urban areas. It's either you are a football fan, you want to go. Hyderabad has history on its side, football history, but the fans have not been there. And Chennai was, as long as they were very successful in the initial years, They had a good base, 10, 15, 15, not even 10, 15, 15, 20,000 people used to come. Chennai had got numbers, but after finishing bottom, many left. Yeah, Raj, that's the point. So how's that? That's the answer. There are also a thing called local. Yeah, that's also true. Do you think Japanese football can compete with European football? Aman, they have been competing with European football, so yes, they are. To be honest, I'm more interested about Mohammed Supergiant versus Intakashi FC. Oh, blue. That's gonna be a big one. I haven't checked. When is that game? Let me check. When is that? In the schedule. In the schedule. When is Monvagan in Takashi? That's going to be a hot take, in my opinion. Where is Monvagan in Takashi? Monvagan in Takashi or in Takashi Monvagan? Monvagan in Takashi on Sunday, 26th of April 2026 at the Yuva Bharati Kirangan or Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Kirangan at the Salt Lake Stadium. I think that's the day. Yeah, yeah. Blue. It is going to be a big match for Senior Havas and for Pritijit, and let's see what they're able to do. Grass Masters fans are there in Gulf countries too. Yes, they are. Why Japanese grassroots so more being honest college student of Japan can play better than senior players? You would be hurt. You can beat senior team. No offense. XMP because they have a system and they have the young talent. Once they reach 18, they go to Europe. Yes, comes to support in U23 in Qatar. They forget U23 X9P. They support every Indian team which goes to the Middle East, gets support from the Manjapada or generally from Malayalis. I think there's a key thing also is that local talent. Also, if you look at Kerala, say there's so many local players are playing your very same teams like Hyderabad, Chennai. And if I'm not saying that they don't have, but numbers are less and the performance not the demand attractive. True, Goku, but again, I think it's a one generation. It's going to be interesting if in the long term they will be able to do it because this has been Thomas Shosh who's produced all these boys right through his team. Again, I've been lucky to observe them a little when they're all in the reserves and did some commentary on them. So therefore, that will be an interesting thing to see what happens there as well. Where can I see the schedule? Utsav, there is a tender document on the AIFF website where you can see it. It's not not on a website. Dada, according to you, what should Kerala do next to increase their fan base much more? Renal, I don't think it's about increasing their fan base. I think Kerala Blasters have the most solid fan base of any Indian Super League team that they've created over the last 11 years. I think for the Kerala Blasters to get the next level of fans, I guess is they need to be successful. They need to start winning trophies. If you ask me, that's most probably the next step. Habas Dadu coming up. It will be interesting to see if Mohun Bagan fans abuse him as they abuse everyone. Raj, yeah, they will in some sort of form or way. They will. Some will, some will not. So that's the thing. Mohun Bagan Supergiant was integration would be good full support to Interkashi from UP Habas. I would share to all my friends to support First Club from UP and ISL. Yeah. Habas was moved to MVP legendary. It should be, but we don't know. Again, by that time, we're towards the latter part of the season, and we'll know where Intakashi stand and where also Mohun Bagan Super Giant stand. So that's to me, that's an interesting one that you and I would say, oh, this is what we expect. Oh, this is what we expect, and then you realize, okay, it depends on the results as well, right? What kind of support does Intakashi have? Or can Takashi really challenge in the system or not? So there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, right? It's interesting that Calabasas actually brought fans from their state in last 15 years. More East Bengal lost their banned Bengal fans in last 20 plus years. Ruth, the Blasters are to me the big exception, right? Because to me, what the Blasters have been able to do from day one, they've somehow connected with the whole state, right? As I said, it's not just the fans in Kochi, but it's across the state that people have supported the Blasters. And this is something which other Kerala-based teams, even an FC Cochin or a Viva, FC Cochin to some extent achieved, but FC Cochin folded before they could really be long-term successful. I mean, they when they joined the NFL in 1997. They brought in Ian Vijayan, brought in Joe Polancheri and others, who are legends of Kerala football. But again, it's yeah, it will be interesting to see. But East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, because they've not bothered about their fans across Bengal. Forget across Bengal. Who in the middle or upper classes today really supports East Bengal and Mohun Bagan? It's gone, right? Do you think Srini Deccan can fill the void in Hyderabad space and build a fan base? Utsav, difficult. Um, for Srini Deccan, but again, they're building their own infrastructure. They're not in Hyderabad city proper. So the question is, do they stay in their small little own Srinidhi complex, or do they move back to Hyderabad or not? Kerala Blasters already have so much fans, only trophy success or India fans to support Kerala Blasters. Yeah, that's my point. Watching Traveler's Guide to Indian Football's portfolio episode about Hyderabad, it looked like the football history and culture which produced players died out there over the time. Yes, Roshan, it did, because it was linked to Hyderabad police or Andhra Pradesh police. So that's your problem in some of these states, that it was linked to the police or to the banks or to the PSUs. That you didn't have the clubs over there. I mean, and in today's football, that is your challenge, right? That is, that's where the Blasters have, Kerala Police. Before you had FC Cochin, you had Viva Kerala. It was Kerala Police who were the most successful team in that part of the world. Let's see. If Inter Kashi does well, it can have more fans. UP has huge population. Raj, it is very interesting to see now with Inter Kashi in the ISL, but not playing in UP, if it can have any effect. Right? Their hope is next season to go and play in UP, but let's wait and see if they can really build on that. Dada, Saudi seniors got beaten by Indonesia. The under 23 got beaten by Vietnam. It seems they're going through a downhill. Do you see Saudi league being sustainable in long term? I don't think anybody gonna follow Saudi league after CS7 departure from Al Nassr. Renal, the Saudi league internally has had its following, will have its following, with or without Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think the global fans or the Cristiano Ronaldo fans don't realize that Cristiano Ronaldo is being seen very, very critically in Saudi because he's not won anything with Al Nassr. And Cristiano Ronaldo arriving in all of that, if you want to get that portion right, with the number of foreigners increased to up to 8 in the team, that doesn't seem to have helped Saudi football. Right? It might have the clubs to become, global competitors, but Saudi football has not gotten better with Cristiano Ronaldo and all the others who've come. Right? Al Nassr, a big failure story. Cristiano Ronaldo will have helped them in the marketing, but he's not won anything with Al Nassr. And even though early parts of the season they were leading in the Saudi Pro League, now it is again Al Hilal, their biggest rivals, who are top of the league. And Al Hilal has always been bringing in players. Players are leaving, coming, going, this and that, and still Al Hilal is top. Yes, Raj, if Inter Kashi perform better, even 1% of you support Inter Kashi, 25 lakh, it's 10%, 2.5 crore supporting Inter Kashi. The numbers are insane. Yeah, they lost literally every fans. Did they connect with the fans 20, 30 years ago? Or were they always like this? Can you tell? They were always like this, Blue. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are institutions who see themselves as being bigger than everything else. So therefore, for me, it's a simple question, a simple answer, in my opinion, that they have not bothered to connect with their fans. The Blasters have done a few things, right? They've interacted, and of course, also the creation of the Manjapara fan group. The Manjaparas is a key element of the Kerala Blasters being able to connect to their fans, right? So therefore, for me, those kind of things are very, 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 very important. Top tier always gets an answer. It's possible for Inter Kashi. Let's wait and see. Inter Kashi is an interesting one, but Inter Kashi at some stage needs to play in Kashi. Otherwise, all our talk is talk. And that will be the real test once either their small little stadium is ready or whatever it is, and what kind of following also UP media gives them. Did you witness Man United versus Arsenal yesterday? Sort of, I did towards the end because I was actually doing a live and I had the screen on and I was watching it here on the side. And, I thought, okay, 1-0 Arsenal is going to go the way it always goes. And then suddenly Man United turned things around. So therefore, yeah, let's wait and see. But it opens up. I realize that when you're saying absolute joy, that means you're a United fan. It opens up the Premier League title race, City and Aston Villa only 4 points behind, and look at the race for top four as well. If with all that United has played, with all due respect, and I've said this multiple times, the same applies for Liverpool. If you are in the top four race, it doesn't speak much good about the Premier League also, right? Me from Bengal supporting Interkashi as well, so people like me from other states support. Yeah, they've got a lot of neutrals, and Blue says Interkashi has more fans in West Bengal than UP. Yeah, they have had. Why do you say that East Bengal and Mohun do not connect to the fans? I think that is what you said, right? Yeah. So how does East Bengal and Mohun Bagan connect to the fans? The fans connect to the clubs. But what is East Bengal and Mohun Bagan doing as outreach to its fans? Simple question. Don't tell me social media. Social media is not it's an information platform. It's not an outreach platform. Outreach platform. The Blasters have done a lot of things, and I say the Blasters actively helped in the creation of the Manjapara. I remember Viren D'Souza, who was Viren De Silva, sorry, not De Souza, Viren De Silva, who was the CEO in the first season. They did a lot of things, and that is something which is, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan have massive number of fan groups, right? But either those fan groups are for the club management, are they for the club, or they're against them? So therefore, we cannot compare it. Mohun Bagan and East Bengal are not restricted to Kolkata and suburbs, are now only restricted to Kolkata and suburbs. That's a problem. Also, why it feels it was easier to support ATK than Mohun Bagan and East Bengal? Because they were open to new age fans, Blue. Effect of Habas, Interkashi have more fans in West Bengal than UP. I don't even know how many fans Interkashi has in UP. If I look at social media, you have, again, people like you and others who are from UP are very proud. We've had Yuvraj, who's joined us a number of times in the conversation as well, who's a proud Interkashi fan. But yeah, they've got a lot of fun following in Bengal, of course. The success of the first season ignited Kerala's passion for football. Even before that, they had a club to support, giving Kerala's a bridge on domestic stage from the start. The league's marketing and PR created huge buzz, and Kerala also received massive support. They reached the final the first season, and even more fans joined. In the third season, they made it to the final again, though they lost. Also, with cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar back in them, there's no reason not to support KBFC from the beginning. Very true. But I remember when we went with Mumbai City to play in Kerala against the Blasters at the Nehru Stadium. Yes, Sachin was there. Sachin, I've told the story a few times. Sachin was sitting in front of me, and I watched little to nothing of the first half because people are trying to get a picture of Sachin. And I'm sure that I'm on a lot of pictures of Sachin sitting behind him and most probably looking anxious. And then Mehtab Hussain, who was injured that day, who was playing with the Blasters, said, Dada, come sit with me if you want to watch the match. And I moved over to Mehtab and then watched the game with him. But there was a craze around the Blasters. And yes, there was a Sachin craze, but there's also a craze around the Blasters, which was even there before getting to the first final and getting to the final of season 3. And I saw that in 2019 again when Blasters ATK opening game. There is a special connect. And as I tell you, Viva Kerala didn't have that special connect. I thought FC Cochin did to some extent, but they couldn't build on it because the club imploded in a certain period of time because of financial reasons. And that's the reason why I think it is. India got immense fan following compared to the footballing standards. The 3 games of Asian Cup was not at full packed stadiums by Indian fans. It always the result going other ways. Yeah, Renal, again, as you say, massive Malayali population in the Middle East. There are Goans, there are Bengalis in there. So yeah, there's huge fan craziness out there. Yes, except until unless Interkashi not play in UP, there will be very less or zero effect on UP football, popularity of football in urban area, with football popularity increasing. Noida, Lucknow, etc. Yeah, question is, I don't know how much effect it can have on Lucknow and Noida and all that part, but I think at least in and around Kashi, Benares, Varanasi, it should have an effect. Never seen any legacy club in North Bengal for quite a while. Before they used to travel from Kuchbehar to Kolkata, now it's stopped and they don't care. Yeah, but they've never had large legacy clubs. Even Siliguri and all, they had clubs, right? But, that connection was never there. Habas is the reason, but playing in Kalyan and at that time when Bengal didn't have team in I-League after Mohun got promotion, all helped to get support. Yeah, but you were playing in Kalyan, I've gone myself. It takes 2 hours from Kolkata to go there. And it's the local Kalyani people who are supporting the club. So that's the thing. And yeah, those are things which are there, which have been there, which are there. And for me, it always been a great thing to see. Again, last season, Inter-Kashi or Gokulam Kerala 3-2 to Inter-Kashi. An exciting game, a crazy game of football. I have a new member, the 160808. Thank you very much. Sadly, I don't know your name. Otherwise, I would thank you by calling out your name. Thank you very much for becoming the latest member of Arun Foot here on the channel. Thanks a lot for doing that. Can you please tell me clearly the difference between East Bengal Mohan's approach towards the fans versus Kerala Blasters? I did not understand it so far. I understand the impression that East Bengal Mohan connects with fans. I was under impression. How again? Sort of what I'm. What are you as a club proactively doing to interact with your fans? That is my only point. The Blasters and all the other ISL teams have done things to interact with their fans over the years. All. And I always say that even what Mumbai City has achieved, again, with all difficulties, um, Goa has done that to some extent. FC Goa, even though the fans have gotten less over the last few years, FC Goa still on a normal day draws more fans than, yeah, the biggies of Goan football. So all these clubs did certain things. Let's see what happens. But um, the Kolkata clubs have not, because the Kolkata clubs will go around as, Are, we have lakhs, crores of fans. So therefore, they are not proactively doing things to fans to generate that interest. Sorry. If Gokulam Kerala come to ISL, Kerala will lose some fans. Mahesh, Gokulam Kerala had fans many years back, in my opinion. But I have not seen their fan base really swell in the recent past. I don't know if Gokulam Kerala really, if that's going to be a competition itself. It will be very interesting to see because the EMS Stadium in the last few years has been empty when Gokulam Kerala was playing, right? Used to support Mohun Bagan Supergiant, but after Mohun Supergiant does not release player for youth and really shifted towards my own state club, Inter-Kashi. Okay. That's what we want. We want to create a Kerala derby. We want that kind of atmosphere, football passion, develop football further more and more. I think it would help Kerala football if you have Gokulam Kerala in the top league. Jail and Kochi is no longer a cricket or hybrid stadium. It's now pure football stadium. So converting football specifically will help viewing experience for fans. Raj, you can't. The shape of the stadium is such you cannot convert it into a football specific stadium. If you want to convert it into a football specific stadium, you have to knock it down and rebuild it like a four-sided stadium. It's got a certain oval shape because of having been a cricket ground in the past. Has there been ever teams from Telugu states under Telangana before? I only know Hyderabad as Seychelles. Yeah, there have been Tushar at the top level in the 50s, 60s. Yard, as I was talking a little earlier about Andhra Pradesh police or Hyderabad police, even in the past before the state of Andhra Pradesh came. And what was the club from Hyderabad which played second division league? I forgot. They couldn't get into their league. So there have been teams, but not at the top level. Sir, good night. All life. Oh, you're great to watch yesterday. Thanks. Goa at Virat Kohli, which attract more people than Chaudhuri. This is Sporting Club Goa. Yeah, but it wasn't Virat Kohli, Raj. It was also the football. Virat turned up a few times, right? So therefore, this so-called Virat effect is not as big as some people will, So therefore, for me, not mix up those things. Other clubs are trying to get fans, but Kolkata clubs, we have like old uncles as fans have some divine responsibility to come to them. Yeah. Blue, as Raj agrees, I would also agree with you. Exactly, that's the point. No, Raj, no one knows is where Curl have shared with how many time he's posted about FC Goa Super Cup with no post. X-Time P, he's not active on he's there, he's still an owner, but he's not active now. But initially, I've met Virat in matches as well. So Virat Kohli was active. Andhra and Telangana clubs are not heard mostly, but I know Hyderabad police team was too good and backed them. Yeah, there they were, and they have a league in Hyderabad as well. Abbas Union, which is supported by Shabir Ali, is now at the national level. So therefore, you have teams, but they've not reached. So therefore, so yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But to me, yeah, how can Mohanbag Supergiant hold past records of Mohanbag, and those two are two completely different entities. If A and B merge to form C, then I cannot call C is the same as A, just like Mohanbag and Mohanbag are not the same. Sort of wrong logic. I take my own example here in Germany, FC Remscheid, my hometown team, now playing sixth division, right? The club FC Remscheid was formed in 1990 as a merger of VfB Remscheid, VfB Remscheid, and BV Lüttringhausen, which was a locality-based club in the city. Those two merged into FC Remscheid. The past successes of both teams are mentioned on the letterhead of the club because VfB Remscheid won the German amateur championship in 1968. FC Remscheid won the German amateur, no, it's not FC Remscheid, BV Lüttringhausen won the amateur championship in 1986. And the merged entity then said, your success and your success, or your successes are my successes. So A plus B equal to C. So therefore, the success of ATK or Atletico de Kolkata, ATK, and on the other side, those of Mohun Bagan are the successes of Mohun Bagan Supergiant. That is how it works in international football. And this is something that Indian football fans seem to have never understood. It is very, very bizarre that East Bengal fans say, oh, this is not the same entity. Sorry, guys, it is, because these two entities have merged into one. So ATK has as much as Mohun Bagan in Mohun Bagan Super Giant. What happened to FC Cochin? What are their achievements? Mahesh, they came FC Cochin or FC Kochi at the time, 1997 came in. I think they won the Duran Cup, if I'm right, finished second in the NFL, and then after a few years disappeared because they couldn't fund it. Because again, in 1997, the same problem had to attract I am Vijayan and Joe Polancheri. They broke the bank to sign those two players. Raman Vijayan signed for them. Stephen Abarova signed for them. And then they disappeared because they couldn't fund it anymore, right? So if I'm right, let me check what all they won. FC Cochin, titles, honors. They won the Kerala State Football League twice. They won the Duran Cup in the first year, runners-up of the AIFF Shield in 1997, won the Kerala State Championships and a few others, Scissors Cup runners-up, McDowell's Cup runners-up. So that is it. And if I look at the star players at this time, in 97, the late Carlton Chapman, Raman Vijayan, I am Vijayan, Vinu Joe signed for them, Prabjot Singh, Noel Wilson, Naseem Akhtar, Ali Abubakar. So crazy players that they signed at the time. And but sadly, again, overspend. And which year did they shut down? In 2002, they resolved themselves. Okay, I thought 2001. But Raj, again, is accept as a given pass, but he doesn't post anything until it's again. Yeah, we can. It doesn't. Again, Kerala clubs experienced some short-term success in the past, but they couldn't sustain it with long-term plans or a solid foundation, so they eventually end up being dissolved. Yeah, Goku, very well summed up. As I said, FC Cochin, Viva Kerala or Viva Kerala, whatever, and Prayag Kerala or whatever it was. You've had a number of teams that have come up to the national level, but they've never been solid. Then why Mono not talking all things but only ATK? I think they show all titles, no? Mohun Super Giant. What titles are they showing? Let me check. I want to check. Let me. Super Giant. In my listings, they're showing all titles. So I don't know what you guys are looking at, but in my listings, they're showing both all the titles of both the teams as a merged entity. That would be my logic. Again, maybe someone has changed it. I don't know. But look at Etika has won ISL in 14-16. That does not count in one's list. How is that possible? The argument you put. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, all of them are in. It's emerged. Again, I think that certain Mohun Bagan fans will always tell you it's not, right? They've had this issue. If both sets of fans of the merging teams now support the new entity, then it's fair to have those history records. Exactly, Tushar. That's the thing. East Bengal after losing, we lost against Mohan was SG not SG, which is useless. Raj, you're losing against whoever, right? So to me, it doesn't make sense. For me, it is the same. It is a merged entity. So even a very successful Bundesliga team, FC Cologne, is a merged entity of two different entities to become one. So that is the thing that is there. So yeah. So for me, that's the logic. Um, there is no official way to check it because there is no proper website of the entity of Mohun Bagan Supergiant, right? Uh, or do they now have a website? No, they don't have a website. Interesting. On Transfermarkt, they only have the two titles. Okay. So there is an attempt to remove all the success the club has had in general. Huh? Interesting. Okay. Old Monmouth fans still don't agree with 80K Monmouth or Monmouth. For them, only Monmouth is. Yeah, but again, that's. Yeah. Blue, what to say? Look, PSG and SFC case, PSG does not hold trophy count. PSG and Stade de Germain. But PSG and FC Paris are two different entities, no? Right? 1 second, let me see how they've done it in France. Are they counting only from 1970? Did they win anything before that? They won the second tier to go up, right? Uh, okay, they've spun off. So this FC Paris is a case like VfB Marat in Remscheid, for example. We also have a second team besides FC Remscheid, because there were some rebels, so-called rebels in FC Remscheid, which were VfB Remscheid. So they created VfB Marathon Remscheid, which plays two divisions lower in the eighth tier. So therefore, that argument is there. But if the real track records is there, you will carry the track records of the two entities before that. You have to think about the members of fans own the club. Can you do that? No. It's a very German model. Uh, so therefore, I don't see it anywhere else in that way working, and it has overstayed. East Bengal plus Mohun Bagan were equal to East Bagan. No, is it East Began? No, it is. If it is, then it is East Began. It is not East Bagan, right, Raj? Yes, I was talking about the same title showing. Yeah. Hey, Rushabh. So yeah, asking questions about Mumbai City. Guys, over 2 hours, 18 minutes of this live. Didn't even recognize that we were so long today chatting about these things. Very interesting. Just realizing that in other countries that the logic has been that you erase the logic of one of the entities, right? That's the logic that PSG is not looking at the old trophies. But Paris FC, do they count the old trophies? Let me see. No, so Paris FC also doesn't have the trophies from pre 1970, right? But does wait 1 second? Let me check this. Stade Saint Germain, do they have theirs? They, so their things are not even. They don't even exist, right? So my logic stays. Let's see. Replace all the trophies with Begon Bhaja and no debate. Yeah, we can. Yeah. Can you explain how fan ownership works in Germany? Do clubs need? You mean? Uh, uh, Fan ownership does work with that. You have 50 plus one rule. So a, to form a club, to have a board, a club. So it's not a football sporting club rule, it's a club rule, AFAO, a registered society, most probably you would say in India. You would have to create a club, would have to have 7 members and then a board of 3 or 5 members, depending on how you want to build it. Um, and we need to look at, um, you know, um, the 50+1 rule, meaning that the club entity of the E.V, eingetragener Verein, needs to control 50% plus one vote, meaning that if you have an institutional investor, that institutional investor cannot control the club. But there are different models to work around it. Look at, for example, Bayer Leverkusen, VfL Wolfsburg. Bayer Leverkusen is the club of the workers of Bayer, which was founded in 1904. So therefore, the Bayer AG, the company, actually controls the club. We have VfL Wolfsburg, which is the club of the workers of Volkswagen, formed in 1945. That is controlled by them. And then we have two different models. Hoffenheim, which has Mr. Hopp, who's pushed it, one of the co-founders of SAP. And on the other side, you have Red Bull, which has taken over RB Leipzig and now controls the club. It was Mark Randstadt, SSV Mark Randstadt in the past. But the 50+1 rule says that you control it. But the problem is nowadays that either a PLC or a stock listed company actually runs the affairs of the football team. So de facto, at Bayern Munich or at Borussia Dortmund, the fans have a certain influence, but Can you hear me now? I hope you can hear me now. Ah, yes. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I didn't mute myself, but again, sometimes the crazy system. So let's go back to the sort of normally you take over the successes of the old clubs into the new entity, but again, there are spin-off entities which then take and then they take credit for certain things as well. So I see that, but again, I see Paris FC, for example, doesn't actually show the old successes up to 1970 as well. So they see themselves as a totally new entity, even though they are the follow-up club of the original Paris FC. Hope now they don't fight over the fish thing with Begun Bhaja. Raj, maybe the Begun Bhaja fight replaces the fish fight in the future, right? Because prices of fish are high. Maybe it's time to go veg. सर बहुत दिन हो गया ऐसे तो रो हो रहा है हर है पर इंटरनेशनल मैच फ्रेंडलीज में कुछ अपडेट्स आया ही क्या Lama, why international friendlies? We will play our final AFC Asian Cup qualifier in March, right? There might be a friendly before that, if at all, because the ISL dates are tight, and then in June. So there is no short-term window for that. Right, sound issues sorted. With that, also, it's slowly come to an end. It's nearly 2.5 hours of this live on this Monday evening. Thanks again for all of you joining in. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot here on YouTube. If you haven't liked this video, 20 likes so far. Thanks a lot. Subscribe to the channel. Watch the short videos again, especially I did something on the Blasters. Do share it with other people as well. And thank you to um, the 160808 for becoming a member today. And yeah, and keep on supporting our own foot here. Watch my short videos. Again, hype them, like them, spread them out. Again, I've done some videos in the last few days which have been non-Indian football as well. And therefore, do that. And yeah, keep on supporting Indian football. Turned veg with Begun Bhaja. Maybe Raj, the fight maybe turns veg in the Kolkata derby. So thanks a lot for your support as always. And I'll be back very, very soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe I'll do it a little earlier. But I might do something at 7:30 tomorrow. But yeah, let's wait and see. Good night, Raj. Good night, Aman. And yes, Tushar, to answer your question, Edin Dzeko back to Germany. He's now joined Schalke 04 in the second tier. Substitute, came on, scored for Schalke, and yeah, 1-2, and then they scored in the 90th minute to equalize. So successful start for him. So I'll catch you maybe tomorrow a little earlier than usual. See you then. Good night, everyone.